Everyone to another review, and sorry for the delay. I was switching operating systems and whatnot, getting used to new software, but hey, that's enough of me going over about shit. That's a video for another week. So this week we have Kania and Biscuit, a very old school Game Boy-like platformer. But enough talk, let's just dive right on in. So the story is this: Kania and Biscuit are enjoying the private islands with their men. Kania suggested we should get coconuts or coconut oil for some happy-go-lucky fun time, if you know what I'm saying. Now there is pirates and shit that goes on in this island, but that doesn't really care that much. But overall, a relatively simple story. The presentation is pretty good, especially with the art book that came with it, and well, basically everything just looks great. And I especially love those two fucking short stacks, okay? I fucking love that shit. The presentation, and as for the soundtrack, it's serviceable. I'm not gonna really be listening to it anywhere, but it does a pretty good job. Now for the gameplay. Now, I can say this, I can clearly tell that this is a classic case of not just first game syndrome, but first project syndrome. It has this thing written all over it. The controls just feel off, and by that I mean just piss poor traction. Kania more than Biscuit, because at least with Biscuit she has wings that allow her to glide, but Kania has very little ways of remedying that piss poor traction. In fact, the game expects you to do a lot with the dash mechanic, which is, I'm not gonna lie to you, very fucking finicky. Well, that's how I feel about it anyway. It feels finicky. Apparently you can also double jump, but once again, I don't think it's there, or at least I don't feel like it's there. And then the enemies, god damn the fucking enemies. If the level design wasn't already annoying enough as it is, then it's the enemies, specifically the enemies that fucking just throw projectiles at you, even from out of fucking range. Plus, once again, the annoying level design, which tends to block your path, and said projectiles barely can pass through walls. Don't worry, you also get projectiles that can also pass through walls. But here's the thing: the same button that you use to throw projectile is the same button that fucking dashes. What the hell? Couldn't you just make a freaking button combination? And don't fucking lie to me. You have to do a button combination to do the super dash. You can fucking do it. And in the bloody mines, this level is guaranteed to frustrate you throughout your first run. Like look at the time. Look at the freaking time. I'm not taking full blame for this, okay? I'm taking halfway blame. This just feels wrong. Oh, and the bosses. The bosses tend to be a lot more consistent with its frustrations, which is rich, because without the frustrating elements, a lot of these bosses are complete pushovers. However, the fourth boss, in my honest opinion, was a complete friggin' joke. Anyways, in each level you have to collect a corresponding number of coconuts, but good luck with that shit, because, well, like I said, the level design has to relying on doing a very specific kind of jump, or once again just relying on Biscuit for most of the levels. Don't get me wrong, Kania has her uses, but you're mainly going to be using Biscuit throughout the whole duration of the game. I'm just saying, she's just the better one of the two. Now, there is a fifth level if you can get like all the collectibles and shit, or at least get like a high ranking. But for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I said this a couple of times in, like, I think in a few games that are in the Pixel Game Maker Engine review, or I think any of the retro indie stuff that I reviewed. Listen, guys, I understand Nintendo hard, old school hard, but guys, it's crucially important that you guys come out for some goddamn air. But overall, I really can't recommend this game, or at least I'd say give it some time to think. If you're that much that masochistic, go right ahead, be my guest. More power to you. Also, these guys are very courteous that you guys can actually add the ROM file to, well, anything. A phone, 3DS, 2DS, whatever. That's kind of impressive. And hopefully I can get to see a lot more projects from them. But until then, everyone, good night and good luck.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share it with your friends, subscribe and hit the bell for community post and new uploads. Also be sure to follow him on social media such as X and Pixiv.